For all of you who listen to Submersion and own an Android device, go to the Google Play Store and download the Podcast Republic app. It's a fantastic app that allows you to get all of your favorite podcasts directly on your Android device. I personally use the app and I love it. I can search for the podcast I want to listen to, select it as a favorite, and have it just a click away. Make sure to select Submersion as a favorite so you don't miss any of our new episodes. Again, the app is the Podcast Republic app, available on Android devices. Episode 119?
Woo!
That's not right.
Was it 119?
Is it 119? 118?
118. Nope, 119.
118?
119.
119.
118.
I was going to guess 126.
I don't know. I'm just making up stuff, boys.
All right, whatever. One of those. 118, 119.
We got to be at least 200 at this point.
126.
We were off a week, so we're totally lost. We don't know what the heck's going on.
Labor Day. It's required by law that we give everyone the week off.
Yeah, we're respecting tradition.
So, did anyone do anything fun over Labor Day?
I had my best friend's wedding.
The movie? You watched My Best Friend's Wedding? That's a pretty good movie.
No, it was my best friend's actual wedding, and I was the best man.
I don't remember any of us in
weird.
the podcast having a wedding.
Yeah, I didn't get married.
I'll have my other best friend's wedding next year, right, Zach?
If we're still best friends, Ben.
No, but I
Amazing.
had my best friend's wedding. Had to give a speech. I think I did pretty well. I was genuinely very nervous. Woke up just like, oh God. That's what I was thinking about, like, until it happened, and then I got it out of the way and crushed it, and then the rest of the night was a party and big party family, so very, very fun wedding. And unfortunately, the bar closed at 10 because of these stupid COVID rules.
That's right.
We kept the party going later at the parents
the
of the groom and the big mansion.
Did you memorize it? Memorize your
I
speech?
did. Yep.
Whoa!
You guys want to hear it right now? No, I'm just kidding. It's 7 minutes long.
I don't think even for my twin brother's wedding, I did not memorize a speech. I had it on a piece of paper. What?
No, Kyle, I think your Twitch is out. Knuckle Clown, not Mac East.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Whoa, we're not streaming
serious
it
right now?
I'm
We're
trying
not
to
live.
find it, and I'm seeing that Knuckle Clown has no viewers on Ghost of Tsushima.
Well, what the heck, man? This isn't good.
Are we going to
That
start
ain't
over?
great. Do we want to start over or just want to plow through this and keep going?
No, we're not going to
We
start
really
over.
shouldn't start over. I'm saying we
No.
need to get this ball rolling.
Yeah, I know. And I was going to say, the only thing I've ever had to do where I had to memorize for a wedding was last year when I had to memorize a dance routine, 2 dance routines for a wedding that I was part of.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. It was
would be less-
nerve-wracking. I
Yeah,
literally thought about it nonstop for like a week as I memorized these dance moves.
But I got a shitload more of miniature bottles of liquor, which I already have a shitload of them. So at this point, I'm like, I'm just going to start drinking these during the podcast. So you guys want to guess what I'm working on tonight?
Captain Morgan.
No, I think it's a whiskey of some sort, Jameson.
No, it's going to be one of those like cream liqueurs or something like that.
It does count as a whiskey.
Oh, a little
A
fireball.
little fireball.
Fireball.
It's not too bad. I put it over.
I
I
can't
put it
sing
over
that much
rocks.
longer.
I don't have like Angry Orchard or anything to mix it, but it's not too bad over rocks.
Yeah, no, isn't it supposed to be either taking it a shot? Just take a shot of
Yeah,
fireball?
I mean typically, but I don't want to drink a whole little mini bottle in a big gulp, so I'm just gonna sip on it. It's not too
Come
bad.
on, Brom. You can do it.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Dude, I can't. I haven't had Fireball in a really long time. I actually haven't had liquor in a really long time. But Fireball is not something I would recommend that you take on a backpacking trip with only 3 people, especially if somebody's bringing a half gallon. It's
Do you want to hear
rough.
You want to hear something shocking?
Yeah.
Never had it.
Never
Really?
had Fireball?
I don't
You're probably
believe
better
so.
for
I don't.
it,
I don't.
actually.
I don't recall having Fireball. It wasn't a thing. It wasn't really a thing when we were in college, or I was in college. So I don't remember. I don't think so.
I feel like
So
we
maybe
were out
maybe
of,
at
out
some
of,
point, someone threw a Fireball shot in my hand and I took it, and I don't remember. But
I feel like we were out of school too before it got really popular. Wouldn't you
I
guys
feel like
say?
that's
I
something
hate it.
Mustard Man would have been like all over, right? It's just Fireball.
Oh, we definitely were. We were over some weird shit. I mean, I used to drink Rumple Mints, and it tastes like garbage.
Oh, God.
So,
Dude, Rumple
Yeah,
Mints does not taste like garbage, right? That tastes
it
like
does.
you are brushing your teeth, my friend.
and it tastes
My
like
guys-
terribleness.
My friend's wedding that I was in, he loves Rumplemans. I can't stand it.
I
What was
hate
Rumplemans.
what was the drink that K-Fed
Rumplemans and
always
grape
got?
juice?
That had Prairie
Prairie
Fire.
Fires?
Prairie Fire.
Kyle, have you gotten the stream up so we can get the burn and get
Yeah,
this,
let's get-
get this show on the road?
Yeah, so if you're joining us via the stream,
What episode are we on?
accidentally was streaming that to my personal account. And, I mean, yeah, millions of followers.
I would say
so-
you got a lot of fans to your personal account, but
Yeah, I mean, just is what it is. But anyways, why don't we go ahead and...
dive.
What began as an innocent conversation among friends would soon spiral out of control and later be referred to by future generations as the eighth wonder of the modern world. Mac East Studios takes you on the journey of your lifetime as your captains, the artist formerly known as Brom, Jamie the Ointment, Kyle El Capitan, and the Gruesome Twosome present Submersion. All right, enough about the liquor.
Right. And more
Get
about
the liquor bastard.
Jamie's good movie.
Damn banana hands!
Just ran over Jamie there.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No. it's-
when you said get the liquor faster, I mean that Aquatine. My God, such a good
one
episode.
of the best.
But-
Yes, you ran over me talking about Jamie's Good Movie Month. It is only good movies. We're watching only, and I think this week may be the pinnacle. It may be the best of all movies we've ever watched. It is a perfect movie. And I don't think I can say more good things about it. So I got to hand this off. Brom, what did we watch this week?
Oh, you want me to introduce
I do.
Jamie's good movie this week?
Yeah.
I don't have the year on this one, but the name of the film is Rapid Assault. Was it 97?
97. And I will say, or was it Rapid Assault? That's a little preview for the trivia later about an alternate title that you can't find on IMDb. It's a big old secret, but it's very important. You're all going to shit your pants. You're going to be diarrhea all up in those jeans when you hear this alternate title. You won't be able to handle it.
I can't handle it.
Yeah.
Zach, I mean, you're pretty excited, man. I'm getting excited watching you, and I don't know what that's.
Sorry,
saying,
I'll
but-
calm down. I'll calm down.
Yeah,
When I saw it, I blacked
heart's
out.
pounding here.
And I woke up, and then I saw it again, and I blacked out again, and then woke up again because it was
That's crazy.
I couldn't have scripted it better. That's what I'll say.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that. So, yes, 1997 film by Palm Entertainment and a Sherman Scott film.
Well, kind of. That's an alternate name for a well-known, I guess, quote-unquote well-known, I'm trying to find his name.
Ridley Scott.
No. I got a very loud keyboard, so I'm going to do this as quickly as possible.
Wow, super loud keyboard.
Thank you. But it's a well-known B-movie director, Fred Olin Ray, using Sherman Scott as a pseudonym. He only used that a few times for this movie and one other movie, and then a WWE thing he did. Only times he ever used Sherman Scott. But throughout his career, he used a large number of pseudonyms for different movies and stuff like that. You can even see he went as Nicholas Medina for different ones, spelled multiple ways. Let's see what else. Sherman Scott, Ed Raymond, Peter Stewart, Peter Daniels, Roger Collins, Sam Newfield, Bill Carson, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, he went under his own name, but a huge number of other names. Yeah, ACW's Wrestling's Wildest Matches was a video documentary he also made as Sherman Scott. But he's a well-known B-movie guy. He made a huge number of movies. Also starred Tim Abel, who's our main character, James Decker. And then I think probably the other guy we want to mention is more or less I mean, he is the bad guy, but he's he kind of falls into that same category as what's his name from what's the one that we really liked, the bad guy that we really liked?
Lukash?
Yeah, Lukash. So he's kind of like Lukash. His name is Lars Reinark. You don't think so?
I mean, he's not as good as Lukash.
No,
This
no,
guy,
hell no. He's not a poet. Let's not get ridiculous.
All right. I sent you guys a picture earlier in the week. Did anybody else think this dude looked like Christian Bale at all? Or was I just totally on my own island with that?
I 100% thought he looked like Christian Bale.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
I thought the picture you sent was very instructive and informative as well in that regard.
He did a great edit.
Yeah. If
Splicing those two
we
images.
lived in a world where people cared about Lars Reinark and how much he looked like Christian Bale, that would have gone viral for sure.
I think so. Yeah, probably
Yeah.
would have. But, I mean, we'll put that up online. You let us know. Does that look like Christian Bale? That guy's a very transformative human being. It could be him.
Yeah, you should do some nice hashtags so the bots get all over it.
It might have
that'd be
something to
cool.
do with my countdown tonight.
No way. You're not doing that. No way, man.
It's
That's
happening.
no.
Yeah,
Ron Paul, it's happening.
But it's yeah. So this was rapid assault, and I don't know. Should we just get into it, or do we need to talk more
I think
about
we
what it
should.
is?
We're already like we're going pretty long for not getting into it.
Yeah. So full disclosure, I did watch this like 14 days ago or something like that. So I may have things out of order.
I took some notes, Jamie.
Yeah, so you may be able to help me reorganize. I rewrote from memory. I wrote out what I thought the movie was about, and you can help me where I've gotten things wrong. Okay, we
Great,
open,
all right.
and the DEA or some shit. They're raiding a location of a suspected weapons deal, and there's a cowboy.
Classic situation here, though, for a bad movie, though, right, Jamie? What do we get? We get the location. We get the time.
we get everything.
L.A. Harbor, 1,100 hours. Let's do this.
Thank God, because it becomes really relevant. Anyways, I'm
Extremely.
actually not even sure. I mean, the relevancy would be how did Reinark get so quickly from LA to an underwater base near like Europe or something?
Well, there are some other things that we will run into with that.
Yeah. So, but then there's a cowboy like federal agent shows up, and he's like shows up out of nowhere. He's like, "Hey boys, what's up?" And they're like, "Oh shit, he's here." And he's like, "I'm going in," and he like heads in, and they're like, "Ah, Jesus." And they start just beating people up. They're like karate chopping people in the neck. They're kicking guns out of people's hands. They get in a big old fight with the main bad guy, Reinark, who is trying to set up some deal for a weapon. And there's a bunch of fisticuffs and all that stuff. And Decker kind of gets knocked out, and Reinark's able to get away. And
one of my favorite scenes in this entire fight is there's one of the older federal agents here, and if you've ever played like Call of Duty or whatever, you're familiar with the term noob tube, but this guy has an under-barrel grenade launcher on the bottom of his gun, and he falls to the ground and sets that off and shoots this rocket-propelled grenade and just, boom, blows something up. And I was like, that guy's probably losing his badge. He screwed up big time.
And they're not really sure what Reinark was up to. He's able to get away, get on some helicopter or something, who knows. But they know it's got to be pretty bad because it's Reinark. And he's kind of known, and he's one bad mother. Shut my mouth. And so we flash sideways, and now we start to get like a few different storylines going on. In one scene, we're seeing that Reinark, he's heading to an underwater base that he owns.
Hold on, Jamie. Really important here. When he's doing that, it's 6 months later.
Oh, is that right? 6 months later?
Yeah.
My God. The time
Why?
flew. I didn't even notice.
I know.
No, I don't know why, other than to say it took him a really long time to get to that undersea laboratory, although it didn't take very long for the agents to get there. Anyways, the Reinark he's on a Russian diesel, and he's on the way to, quote unquote, literally said, abandoned undersea laboratory. Yes, of course. Those undersea laboratories that are abandoned. we happen to take over.
I mean, they're all over the bottom of the ocean, man. That's
they
what you
litter
hear about
around.
people getting into scuba for. You're like, oh, you guys want to go explore that abandoned undersea research facility?
Yeah. Anyways, he's talking to the captain, and it's kind of funny there. It is very much like a boss employee relationship. He's like, "Hey, you're like doing a really great job. I'm very impressed with you." It's like, and by the way, we're getting pretty close to the ultimate payment. We're getting the payoff for you being a traitor to your country, and just be ready to defend the base. And the captain's like, "Well, thank you, great. I will be ready." A mini sub comes, picks up Reinark, and we get a sense of kind of what's going on. He's kidnapped a whole mess of scientists, including this old dude, and he becomes important kind of, and they're being held hostage and forced to create the worst virus bioweapon of all time. right? And they describe this bioweapon, and I mean, I'm a scientist of sorts, but at the very least, I do know some things about biology and genetics and stuff like that. And they talk about this virus as being able to infect all animals and plants on Earth.
I thought that was really weird too.
That is ludicrous. I'm going to tell you right now. It's just like, I mean, and the fact that they'd be able to do it and like snap, like basically he's been gone so short that we get another scene where the guy's daughter is like, yeah, I haven't heard from him for a second. Yeah, I mean, it almost seems like it's only been a couple weeks, right? But he's gone.
If that,
his mail is starting to pile up. Like,
yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, as for the length of time, this would be a major undertaking for any team of scientists.
So, Jamie,
yeah,
have you ever done a scientific experiment at an abandoned underwater research facility?
Are you talking about the focus that he has by being there?
The focus.
He's got no distractions.
Nothing at all. No. And I think time is different there.
Slows down. Yeah, because you're underwater. It's true. Anyways, Angela, the daughter, she's making calls and stuff. And it's like, he never forgets to check his mail. Okay, I know he's gone. He's been kidnapped. And the person on the line is like, whatever. And she goes out and is like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. And she goes in the parking garage. Great set pieces throughout. I mean, probably spent a whole bunch of money on making sure this movie looked as great as possible. And she gets out into the parking garage, and a Russian lady, maybe, her
in like a hot nurse Halloween outfit shows up,
and her accent comes and goes, to say the least. But I think she's supposed to be Russian, and she basically says, "You're coming with us," and she's taken to the base. Meanwhile, again, our boy Decker, now he is getting hot and heavy in a game of tennis with his GF for days. And he gets his little beeper goes off from the Navy. The Navy's like ready for him to go and, crack some skulls or whatever. And she's like, don't go. And he's like, I gotta. And she's like, but what about that? And she like kind of points to herself. And he's like, this is what you signed up for. It's all classic stuff going on. Right. But he seems pretty smitten. She's pretty into it. And as he heads off, you get the sense that, this relationship's going to last. What do you guys say?
I think so, right? Because he leaves her wanting more, right? Crushes her in tennis.
Right, for
and
sure.
Presumably she beat him in the first match. And he's like, oh, rubber match. I'm out of here.
Right, exactly. Yeah, let it, and then who's boss? I got to get out of here. I got more important things to do than a rubber match. What are we going to play all day?
Exactly.
So anyways, he gets to the Navy, and they're like, you got the skills, but you need a partner. And he's not like super into that. This guy Phillips is there, and he's like, ugh, Phillips, gross. But he's like, fine. And then they're like, you're going to be heading on to a submarine, and then you're going to be heading to this underwater base because Reinark, you know him, he's got this like dastardly plan. And they're like, okay, we'll take care of it. And so we get a whole bunch of greatest hits of our stock footage throughout all of our submarine films. We're seeing a helicopter and a guy in a yellow jacket being like, land here. We get people coming out of that helicopter, diving into the water. We get a rising submarine coming out. We get people diving and going into that submarine. It's everything. We got all of them.
Oh, yeah. Like you said, all stock footage. We have seen this in every single movie before.
Every single one. Not a single movie we haven't have we watched did not have that. Not one.
Oh, it's absolutely crazy. Yeah. And something that's also amazing, I forgot to touch on this with the underwater base, is earlier you talked a little bit about set design. You think of an underwater base,
right?
It's gonna be high tech, right?
It's gonna be high tech. You think given the pressure and stuff like that, maybe you don't have large expanses of spaces because of the amount of kind of pressure on the building. It's gonna be a little compact, move around in those little hallways and stuff like that. Not the case.
No, it literally looks worse than my basement. Like it has a drop ceiling like my basement does. And I'm like, would you put that in? Would you put that in? Spend the time to put that in an underwater research facility?
No. The only thing that does look a little futuristic is their jail, because Angela's in that jail, and I pointed out to you guys.
That is a major flaw in that jail.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I also pointed out to you guys, we've seen that jail before. I was watching this movie and I was like, I have seen you before. Weird futuristic jail.
Wait. Was it in that one with Bryan Cranston?
It was Time Under Fire.
Oh, no way.
Same
Look
jail.
at me.
Same effing jail. They
Wow.
just reused the set. Also, weirdly in there was like an office chair just sitting in the room. I was like, what's that office chair doing? Whatever. But she's able to escape, get up into a vent pretty easily with a giant knife. Wasn't too hard, actually.
Yeah. In every jail room, you should leave a massive vent that can easily be popped open that you can easily crawl through. I mean, it just makes sense.
I'm also not sure.
Yeah,
I'm just not sure how adequately they explained Angela's skills as like a secret agent either. She takes out.
I don't even know who she was.
No, that's what I mean. Like, she seemed like when they were doing when you're first getting it, she worked in just like an office building. And then she's like knocking knives out of people's hands and punching, agents in the face and stuff.
Yeah, I was very much confused by that as well.
I was like, does she have a backstory? Also, was she supposed to fall in love with Decker? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, there's one line too that was just completely misdone. They when she was imprisoned in her cell, the guy's hovering over her when he gives her food, and she's like, "You just gonna stand there and watch me eat?" And he doesn't say or move or do anything, and she's like, "Why am I surprised?" And it should be, "Why am I not surprised?" Right?
Yeah. No. Why am I? Well, I think it can maybe be either. But we could discuss. How about we discuss this for the
Why am I
40
surprised?
minutes? Yeah. I was also say before this whole scene, Angela was also brought in front of her daddy-o, the scientist, and the scientist was like, "I've made it. I've made this terrible virus. That's it. Let me go." And they're like, "We're going to test it on your lab partner." And he's like, "No." And then they bring out Angela and he's like, "Okay." And they toss this poor lab partner into a thing and he becomes like a zombie, gross, like virus person. And then they like threaten his daughter and they shoot him anyways. And I became a little confused as to her role in this. Why was Angela even brought onto the thing? Couldn't they have all done this?
It really made no sense.
Couldn't they have just killed him, tested the virus, and been like, time to bounce? Like, I don't know. Then Angela's there, like, screwing stuff up by getting
they literally didn't
stuff.
even have to do the game of cat and mouse because all they brought her out there was like, all right, we can either test it on her or we can test it on your lab partner. And he's like, sorry, buddy.
Yeah, lab partner for sure.
They
100%.
literally just could have grabbed him and thrown him in there anyway.
Right.
Rather than go through kidnapping somebody, presumably thousands and thousands and thousands of miles away, and then bringing him to this underwater base.
Yeah, I think she was in Miami or something. Whatever. I think they told that on the screen. Miami. Anyway, so Decker, they come there on a LA submarine. They've gotten to the LA submarine, him and Phillips. Decker's like, okay, I'm going to get into the lab. Phillips, you come after me once everything's safe. So he dives into the water, goes to the lab, and there are a bunch of frogmen there who are like, got knives and stuff. And they're doing some fisticuffs in there. What the funniest part of this scene is that you can see the top of the water as they're fighting. Like they're in a pool and the top of the water and their fins keep on hitting the top of the water. So you can see that they're only like 2.5 feet below the surface as they're fighting.
My word.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's just like a solid production all around. And then so he gets in there. He says, Phillips, come on in. They run around a whole bunch, kind of like shooting some people. Angela's escaped from the cell. And eventually they meet up. Like they meet up with Angela. And they're like confused for a second. But then they're like, okay, you were brought here on a mini sub. Where is the mini sub? Because we need to go grab the virus from the trench. So we're Decker's like, I'll get on the mini sub. I'll go out and get the virus and come back. And that's how we'll stop everything. And they're great. So they go off and they're going to, try to find this mini sub. Reinhardt, in the meantime, he sets up the whole plan, right? Like the entire point is to get a bunch of money from the U.S. government. And the U.S. government, how much was it?
Wasn't it $50 million?
Something stupid and small. Like I remember it wasn't $1 billion this time. It was like 50 million. It's like,
I know
what? And then it was funny. Even like the plan starts to kind of like fall apart. And Reinhardt has these two kind of toadies, and they're both kind of like trying to explain basic economics and like capitalism to him. They're like, no, you don't understand. Like we've got the leverage. The U.S. government, you could definitely get like way more money by turning around and playing like another superpower against the United States. And Reinhardt's like all about revenge. He's like, God damn it, no, we have to make them pay. Like, and they're like, Jesus, we're not going to get any money our way. This is all going to be so dumb.
Well, because I think they even said like, you could get like $1 billion.
Yeah, you can get so much money. And Reinhardt's like,
million,
we got to show all the people that I've had terrible deals with that they're wrong. And it's like, you've had bad deals with everyone. This is the worst. We're not going to get any money. So U.S. government is also doing the classic thing of they're stalling. They're kind of saying like, we can't possibly transfer all that money in that much time. It's like, come on. So anyways, Reinhardt's getting a little frustrated with that. The submarine, the Russian diesel submarine is kind of tracking the U.S. submarine that's hanging around because the point is if Decker can't stop the virus, they're just going to nuke the lab. They're just going to totally 100% nuke it. And that will kind of solve the problem.
Jamie, obviously. Now what is on that submarine?
You talking about the hilarious picture I sent you where they're in office chairs that have wheels on a submarine that would go up and down, and those just chaos. These chairs fly everywhere every time they move it around.
They're like 10 degree up. Oh my god!
Yeah, they're all just flying everywhere. It was the craziest thing. I was like, I stopped it. I was like, you gotta be fucking shitting me.
Like, please.
Chaos, absolute chaos. But anyways, they're like tracking each other. They come to almost a complete stalemate. Like the U.S. sub is sitting there, and they're like, "Are they doing anything? Should we attack them?" And they're like, "No." And they both just settle on the bottom of the ocean floor, and they're just kind of staring at each other. And they're like, "Oh, waiting game. Guess it's a waiting game." But Reinhardt, because he keeps getting frustrated, is like, "Okay, Russian submarine, you show them who's boss and launch a Tomahawk at New York City." And so he does. Obviously, because the U.S. submarine's there, they're able to like ring up the Navy, and they're like, they're launching a Tomahawk. They scramble some jets. They're going, and it's heading towards New York City. And as this was happening, I was like, oh, for the love of God, please reuse the scene from Countermeasures? No, what's the other one? Not Depth Charge. Countermeasures.
Countermeasures 2?
Yeah, no. No, Countermeasures was something too, wasn't it? No.
Man, the Dudikoff, Michael Dudikoff films.
The first Michael Dudikoff, where his son is going to New York City. Anyways, they have a scene where a missile hits the Empire State Building, and the steeple of Empire State Building falls and crashes onto a car. And we laughed, and oh boy, we had so much fun with this. It was a favorite scene. Me and Brom, we were like, we sealed our best friendship over this scene from this movie. We like bumped fists and all kinds of stuff. It was great.
We cut our hands with a blade, and then we clapped them together.
Right, exactly, and that all to this scene. And I'm watching this beautiful missile sail towards New York City, and I'm like, I want to see that scene again. For the love of you, please reuse it. And it's heading there, and you can just see it happening, and you're like, it's going to be so beautiful. As they scramble these jets, the jets shoot, and they're like, we knocked down the Tomahawk, and basically
it's a building.
It hit the Empire State Building, and the Empire State Building steeple falls off, and you're just like, what? Maybe even better, other than the fact that I think in that one, someone got to utter the lines, they stopped it. Wait. But the Empire State Building took a hit, which that's if someone could have said that would have been good. But they didn't say it in this case.
Really good.
Yeah.
But I mean, that made no sense to me because they kept saying, oh, we got it. And it's like, it hit a building.
Yeah, hit Empire State Building. Anyways, at this point, I believe this is the point where the U.S. submarine and the Russian submarine, they're kind of like maneuvering around each other, doing like countermeasures, all kinds of stuff. But eventually the U.S. submarine completely blows up the Russian submarine as part of these maneuvers.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's, if there's any more details to that, but that's how I remember.
Not really.
So anyways, Decker, he gets into a mini sub. He's able to grab the virus and get back. In the meantime, Angela and Phillips are kind of captured by Reinhardt, and it's revealed that Phillips is a traitor, saboteur. And so Reinhardt is like, he's kind of sitting in the catbird seat at this point. Phillips, he's a traitor, but still on his side. Angela, she's been like, he's sent her off to be killed, like whatever, take care of business. And so when Decker comes back with the virus, Phillips is there, and he's like, what happened to Angela? And Phillips is like, oh, she got captured. And then he like turns traitor on him, grabs the virus. Reinhardt comes out and is like, I got the virus. And he's like, Phillips, go take care of Decker. And Reinhardt sets the virus to explode and gets in a mini sub and starts going. And it looks pretty dire for our heroes, except they've got a secret weapon up their sleeve. Because who would have thought that the people who were supposed to execute them would get so close that they could just knock the guns out of their hands and
It's ridiculous.
And then stop their own execution and kill Phillips and the Russian lady. Like there's no trickery, there's no nothing. They're just like so close with their gun that they just knock the guns out of the way. And then
one of my favorite scenes, like the fight scenes here, is the Russian lady is walking down the hall, and so Decker and do we even know her name? I can't remember her name.
Decker and Angela?
Angela. They hide. Or no, maybe not even at this point. Whatever.
Yeah,
There's some
it's a different
point
time.
where the Russian lady walks by, and so they pop out like they're going to go get her. And then literally two guys just jump down out of the ceiling on top of them and start fighting them. I was like, where the hell did they come from? The drop ceiling, I guess, right? I mean, you just like pop down through it like, it's game time.
Is that what you do in your basement?
Yeah, I fight people down here. Pop out of the ceiling, all that stuff. It's pretty cool.
So anyways, Angela and Decker, they meet back up. They look at the virus and they're like, we can't stop it. But we can not die ourselves, because obviously what we need to do is explode this base. And so they hop back into the water, swim over to the sub. The sub's like, let those heroes in. And they get onto the submarine, and they are like, basically the captain's like, are we okay to nuke the lab? I'm like, you're the captain. Like, you've got the dick out. Your dick is hanging. And I know you got this young Decker, like he's like a spry young buck and all that stuff. But no matter how wrinkly it gets, you are the captain, and you got to make that command. So it's a little weird when he's like giving Decker the okay to be like, nuke the lab. And they literally shoot off a nuclear weapon in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and explode this lab. I don't know how close they are, how far away they are. They seem to have no impact from this. Then they also afterwards, Reinhardt and his stupid mini sub haven't even got far enough away. They look over there and they're like, oh, and also let's explode that jokester. And they shoot a torpedo at him or whatever and kill him. And then one last scene, because that's the thing. The weird thing here is you'd think Angela and Decker would kiss at this point, but Decker's got a girl back home. And he's like, nice to meet you, whatever. Heads back home, smooches his gal hard. And then he gets a little beeper thing again, and she gives him a look like, And he's like, well, gives her the beeper, and she just like smashes it. Imagine doing that, because like, both of our significant others are in a field that would require them to respond to beepers. Imagine if you just grabbed your wives and smashed on the ground. What would happen?
Dude, I'd get my throat slit, probably.
Yeah, it would not work out. It would not be the good thing to do.
It'd not be good.
Yeah.
Because she'd be like, now I got to go in.
Yeah, now I got to go.
In the hell that page was for.
I got to explain that my idiot husband just threw my pager on the ground for no reason.
That would be like the nice way that it would be explained to me. The words would be way more harsh for if I did that.
I think it just wouldn't even be understandable. She'd be like, "What? Why did you do that?" The end.
That's it. That is Rapid Assault. And I feel bad because we didn't even call them. I had my notes that they were the Rapid Assault team, the Rat. But
really, they were the Rat.
Well, they were called the Rapid Assault team at one point.
What, him and Phillips?
Mm-hmm.
The traitor Phillips was part of the Rapid Assault team.
Traitor Phillips. He was part of Rat, man.
It could have been that Geico commercial.
That's right. They got a rat problem? Rapid Assault team problem?
Yeah, the rat problem.
Round and round. Good Lord. All right, let's get into some ratings. Zach has looked super excited the whole time. I was waiting for, I don't know what out of that guy, but he was, he's pumped. He's excited for this one.
Is that a cue?
You want me to go first? You want me to go first? I can go. I never go first, man. I'll go first on this.
I know who always goes second.
You go second always?
No.
Not tonight.
Does anyone else know?
Last.
I know who it is.
Oh, man.
It's in my stats.
Really?
Yep. 84.9% of the time.
Oh my God.
Holy smokes. That's
me.
crazy.
It's me, isn't it?
It's Jamie.
It's gotta be Jamie.
Yeah. I feel like
man.
usually I tell someone to
And
do
he
it.
always says,
I'm
I'm just
jump
going to
in.
go ahead and jump right in
I'm
here.
going to jump in.
There you go. Don't let him jump in right now.
You can't.
Rapid Assault, 1997. This movie gave me hope because, Jamie, a lot of times you'll say, oh, could we have made this movie? Could we do this? And this movie made me realize we could make a lot of movies just with scenes from other movies.
That's true.
And then
Good point.
put them all together and then maybe have like 15 minutes of our own stuff. And then we're good. We can do it. We can easily make a movie now. It's just crazy. I mean, there's so much stock footage used in this. Other than the guy blowing up the car with the underbarrel grenade launcher, which
we could use that.
We can't pay good money for. Yeah, we could use that, and it would be a good scene.
Why wouldn't we use that? It's not like it's a main character or anything.
Very true. So, I mean, there's a lot. We could rip this from this movie. I bet you we could get the rights from this stuff pretty cheap from this movie. It'd be pretty good. The acting was, yeah. The best guy was the Christian Bale look-alike dude, I thought. He was pretty legit. A lot of the stuff in this was just so cliche. We've seen it a million times. I mean, I can't say a million times, right? We've seen it 118 times. And, I mean, what do you do with a movie like this? It's a good movie because it's part of Jamie's good movie month.
It's definitely good, yeah.
Definitely good. I'm going to come in, though. I mean, the hope. The hope is just like, it's doing it for me a little bit just because I realize it's our time. We can make a film. We could do this. We can make a sub-film. I'm going to give it a 2.5.
Okay. I feel like that's a pretty solid rating.
Jamie, you're going to jump right in there?
Is it?
I'm going to jump right in.
I know. I think I'm not going to. I'm not going to jump right in.
All right, Zach,
we're
jump right in
the
there.
stats tonight. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm not going to jump right in.
Zach's review. Zach's review. It's going to be crazy. Zach's review. What you going to give? Zach's review.
Oh, he cut out.
Zach's review. This is Zach's review. I give this movie a 2.5. Zach's review. Following Kyle, Zach's review.
Wow.
That was amazing.
That was amazing.
I think
The movie was not.
I think most of your review was just spent saying Zach's review, and I like that.
That was
Yeah,
better
good.
than the movie, right?
I enjoyed it more than the movie.
Yeah, I would say so.
I'd give that like at least a 3.
Yeah.
And Brom,
I wasn't bored.
I guess I will hop in and say this was. I think this brought down the concept of Jamie's Good Movie Month. I thought this was a disastrous film. Struggled to keep my attention. I did enjoy seeing the Empire State Building scene again. Mm-hmm. And I don't need to be a scientist to know that there was some sketchy pseudoscience taking place in this. Not a very viable virus if it turns you into liquid in like 5 seconds. Pretty impressive bioweapon, I guess, but not virus as they were calling it. I don't know how it's supposed to spread if it kills its host instantaneously. Yeah, it was a sketchy film, very formulaic plot. Poor acting, other than, as you mentioned, Don Scribner was okay at times. The handlebar mustachioed biker dude was kind of cool to watch, although he was a disastrous actor. He was...
Wait, with the Fabio hair?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah.
He was god-awful.
And he is not someone who's been in very many movies. He's someone who...
Yeah.
His claim to fame is, I guess, he played one of like the demon dogs in Ghostbusters. And he like talks about that like quite a bit.
Wait, really? He did that?
Yeah, that's what it says.
I would talk about that if I did that.
Yeah.
So. Hats off to him.
His acting was so bad, like even the bad actors that were on screen with him, I kind of like looked at them and watched them like closely. Like, you have to know when you're on set with this guy that you are dealing with a horrible actor.
That being said,
but
the other
know
woman
that they're going to look really good, right?
Yeah, it's true. Helps.
But the
elevate
woman, because like
people
there was
in.
2 henchmen. It was him and then like the Russian
Talia.
woman. And the
Talia.
Russian woman lost her accent maybe 5 seconds after doing it once. Like they're like, "Oh, remember her from Russia?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, she's doing a Russian accent." And there was a bunch of scenes where it's like, "Wait, am I misremembering that she's Russian, or is she just an American lady?" This is weird, but yeah.
Yeah, there's
point
one
is that
scene
not
between
everyone is
there's
very
one
good.
scene between the two of them where she's like, "Hey, the prisoner escaped," and he just goes, "How long?" It's like, oh God. I'm gonna give this a 2.
All right, and this is why I came in last. I thought this was hilarious. Reused all kinds of scenes. Loved it. Weird acting, weird actors, weird stuff, weird things.
Just weird.
Weird. It was just great, and I liked it. And I was like remembering back to my days with Steel Sharks, and I was like looking at the box of Steel Sharks, and I was like, "Oh, I love you so much." And I was like, you know what? Full Steel Sharks. Full 3.5.
Wow, there you go.
Yep.
That's solid.
Yep.
One of my favorite parts of this film, I don't think you can call it that, of this cinematic experience, was when they took the virus and they're like, we're going to hide this in an abyss. And so they just put it in this abyss.
Right.
And they're like, well, where's the virus? And then our FBI agent says, oh, it's in an abyss. I'll go get it. It's like, how the hell does he know where that is?
And then he went over and just found it immediately. Like, oh, there
Didn't
it
have
is.
to search it all. It was amazing.
Yeah. Good movie.
It is good. It's solid. Is what
What's
it
it
is.
time for?
It is time for Zach to be disappointed once again. I text our co-host from episode 3, and he's ghosted me on this.
Keenan?
Yeah. So I think we're going to have to go back and re-record episode 3 and just cut him out of it.
Okay.
Just see what we can do.
He's a pretty
So
busy
sorry,
guy. He's
Zach.
got 2 kids.
So that means no good theme song.
Not yet. Give it time. Good
Sorry,
things take time.
listeners. Sorry we ruined the podcast. Just turn it off now. Just kidding.
This guy right here. What's he doing?
Love it, hate it.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
What do we
All
want to hear
you wanna
first?
you want to hear what it's going to sound like? You want to know what it's going to sound like?
Yeah, go ahead.
How late is it? I can't really scream.
We're
Maybe
fine.
I can. My kid might be asleep. I don't know. So it's going to be like, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I love it. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I hate it. Just like that.
I love
It's pretty
it.
good.
I love
Love
that. I love it.
or hate it. When you're loving it, she's hating it. When you're loving it, she's hating it.
Jamie, yours.
What?
Now yours. Now yours. What do you want it to sound like?
Oh, when you love it, you love it. When you hate it, you hate it.
Wow. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Feel
Voice of an
emotional.
Sound like a baby angel singing over there.
Yeah, that was like a gift from God.
What song was that? I know that song.
It's from like a musical, right?
I know it.
Isn't it from Cats? I think it's Cats.
Could be.
Yeah, I think it's Cats.
I haven't seen it, so that would
Because
make
Cats
sense.
is an amazing bad movie that we watch for badmovietwins.com. That's badmovietwins.com.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Brom. You had to give him an in, didn't you?
All right, somebody pick. What do you want to hear it first? Love it or hate it?
Well, I just did the Love It one, so I guess hate it first.
Okay. This hate it is coming to us from Katana_1, March 2001. Insulting. Some movies are bad. Some are awful. This one, however, is just insulting to the intelligence of the viewer. It's obvious those who produced, directed, and wrote this film have absolutely no knowledge of the United States military or biological weapons. For example, the Los Angeles class submarine in this film is used several times for taking on and disembarking a SEAL team while 800 feet below the surface. Yeah, right. Then there's the cheesy effects for the deadly biological weapon that looks like neon glow snot. I could go on, but it's not worth the time I've already wasted on this review thus far. 1 out of 10.
I like that.
Hard disagree, but sure. I respect him.
I feel like I'll agree with that more than someone that gave this a 10 out of 10.
So no one gave it a 10 out of 10.
I think he's gonna say right here, yeah, he's struggled. There's nobody that gave us
this
a 10
was a struggle.
out of 10, right?
This was a struggle, but we got it. We got a perfect score, not 10 out of 10, but we got 5 out of 5 stars. Here we go.
I mean, hey, that works.
Now this is you really need to turn on your listening ears for this, because this one gets kind of confusing. It's very, it's high intelligence. The vocabulary is a lot. 5 out of 5 stars. Reviewed in the United States on May 18th, 2018 by Lunch Lady. Good movie. This was a good movie. I watched it through Amazon Prime and I liked it.
Good.
Solid.
Concise to the point.
Just a solid review, yeah.
That's it.
Speaking of good reviews and pseudoscience, I watched Tenet this weekend. It was pretty good.
Did you?
I've heard mixed.
I would give it...
Did you see it in theaters?
I did see it in theaters, yep. Definitely one of those I feel like you need to see in theaters. I'd probably give it like a 7, 7.5. I'd probably give Inception closer to 7.5, 8, something like that. Seemed like a cheaper version of Inception to me, but it's still very watchable and good return to the cinemas if anybody needs to get out of the house and see a movie.
I would love to.
Should I get into some trivia?
Sure.
I don't have a huge amount. So, as I mentioned, the director used a nom de plume for this one, Sherman Scott. There was some speculation that he had used this as an homage to prolific director Sam Newfield, who had also used Sherman Scott as a pseudonym. And it's kind of interesting because you can also see on his IMDb that he used Sam Newfield, that name itself, as a nom de plume. So he obviously was a fan, Sam Newfield being a very prolific B-movie director from like the 50s and stuff. This was mentioned in the book, The Most Dangerous Cinema, People Hunting People on Film. I was not able to see a full preview for that. So I don't know why this would be part of that. Was there a person hunting a person in this?
People hunting people?
Yeah. Can you ever remember a person hunting a person in this?
They were hunting down a prisoner that escaped.
Seems like a very loose,
Scribner's daughter or whatever.
Yeah, very loose definition of The Most Dangerous Cinema, People Hunting People.
I feel like that's most movies.
Yeah, exactly. I'll have to get the book from my local public library in order to find out and solve this mystery.
Do they have it, or do you have to...
No, I'd have to wait for them to get back to doing interlibrary loans. Hopefully soon. All right, this was also mentioned. This is the one where I'm going to knock your socks off, guys. So grab onto your socks. Make sure they don't get knocked off.
I wear flip-flops a lot, so I don't have socks on right now.
I'm going to knock those flip-flops right off, so make sure they're tight. Squeeze those toes together, because this is mentioned in Atomic Bomb Cinema. That's no more understandable than People Hunting People, right? Because this is a depiction of how they're using a nuclear weapon in the film. Now, when you look at the end of the book, where you're looking up movies and where they're listed in there, it's credited as Rapid Assault, also known as, it's got a second title. Do you know what that second title is?
No, you're not.
I don't either.
Nuclear.
Down Periscope.
Atomic.
Think of what I gave this rating. I rated this a full
3.5.
Which is
I rated a full Steel Sharks.
And what would this be?
It's also called Steel Sharks?
It's called Steel Sharks 2.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is credited in multiple spots, but not on IMDb, but multiple spots as Steel Sharks 2.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was originally going to be the sequel?
I think it may be the opposite. I think it may be like Countermeasures 2 or whatever, Crash Dive 2 Countermeasures, where they made something and then they were like, do we have anything we can market this as? Well, we had that one with Gary Busey, Steel Sharks, and so they put it in some spots as Steel Sharks 2. But I got another Wikipedia page to make and stuff. It's like, it's really thrown a monkey wrench into my whole
That's
week.
crazy.
Yeah. All right. And then I have another fact. Why not? Even though, taking some time. Jeff Rector, he played Phillips. He's very much a working actor. You can see he's got a huge number of credits. He wrote a book in the 80s, which was called Playboy Rabbit, about how he worked in the Playboy Club. And I thought that was pretty interesting. It's only 120 pages long, so it doesn't seem like he was writing much. But kind of funny.
I was going to say, you think a book like that, you'd have a lot to say.
Right. He also was a voice in an adventure game called Phantasmagoria, which me and Patrick had played on and off, or here and there when we were kids. I don't think we ever finished it, maybe. But that's funny to think that we were playing a game as like a child, and there's Phillips from Rapid Assault, in it.
Are you gonna go back and finish it now?
Oh, we're gonna play it for sure at some point.
Good. I like that.
And then I only got one J archive, unless you guys didn't do anything with Jeopardy, right?
Did not.
Okay, so only once has the term biological weapon ever shown up on a clue. That was in September 8th, 1998. And the clue was under the category MTV. And you can just, guys, buzz in with your name. In a 1996 film, these two MTV characters came into the possession of a deadly biological weapon.
Zach.
Yep. Zach.
Beavis and Butthead, the movie?
Yes, Beavis and Butthead.
Oh,
Very
look at
nice.
you.
And then just finish up with a little Phantom Zone.
Engage the Phantom.
Phantoms engaged, sir.
Phantoms engaged, sir. Love it.
And so, I thought this was going to be tough because it's a pretty small, shitty film. But over 10 people in this film, in the cast and crew, were shared between this and Steel Sharks. So no wonder it was called Steel Sharks 2, right? That's like a huge amount of cast and crew.
10 people?
And that
I mean,
included
there's not that many people in this movie.
Tim Abel, our main character, was one of the crew, one of the Steel Sharks, like SEAL team.
Seriously?
Yeah, so I think that's why it was maybe Steel Sharks 2. He was one of the small group of SEALs, and then he comes back for this one. And in that one, though, he played Cord, so it's very much a Crash Dive 2 situation because he played a different character in this one than that one. Anyways, now, so the thing is like, you shouldn't get too excited. Most of the credits that were shared between them were stuntmen and stuff like that, and other like people down further in the crew. But I felt like this time I wanted to give a little respect to the stuntmen. They're giving us daring visuals. Like think of the battle with a fisherman under the water, right? Like just like daring visuals we couldn't possibly get. And it's actually a little known fact as well, given, we talk about him quite a bit on the show. But at Harris, he started his career as a stuntman. I don't know did you guys know that?
No.
I did not.
It's news
And
to
so
me.
I don't know, because his first role was his breakout performance. He was pathology resident number 2 in the movie Coma. And he was originally set to only do stunt work for that. And because he's well known, he can hold his breath for over 10 minutes. I think I mentioned that before when he do some practical jokes where he would pretend to be dead and people found it hilarious. And so he was doing stunt work because he could be a coma patient or a corpse, in this medical drama. Hold his breath for a really long time, but his glistening abs, they were like super distracting, and actually the lights from for the filming were gleaming off them and blinding people. So Crichton, who was directing the movie, said throw a lab coat on that guy, and that's how he got his first role and how he broke out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
True story. And Crichton said at that moment, "I'm going to make this man a star." That's what he said.
What else was he in with Crichton's filmography?
No, Crichton just got him in the door.
Oh, okay.
Well, Jurassic Park, obviously, but yep. I mean, he played the
Played the
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
T-Rex, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, I think that's been mentioned before.
Something
Wow.
like that.
Yeah.
Shocking. Is that it? That's Subs Worldwide? Nah. What?
It's not Subs
not-
Worldwide.
It's
That's
not
Phantom
Subs
Zone.
Worldwide.
What am I doing? What's
Just
going
have
on?
a mini stroke, Kyle.
I think so, man. I better
He's
better
been
go
staring
upstairs
into
and
that
talk
light
to
too
somebody
long.
about this. Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know if you saw that. I was trying to make it look like I was looking at Jamie's screen, but then I looked and I realized it looked like I was just looking up straight, and I looked like an idiot.
Staring
So,
into the eyes of God.
yeah, staring into my drop ceiling.
Your
But
face will glow for a week after this.
I hope so. I don't have Subs Worldwide tonight, guys. I don't.
Do you have Steel Sharks Worldwide?
I don't. I had a dog emergency this
Oh,
last
that's right.
weekend.
Dogs
Kinda took-
Worldwide.
Kind of took stuff over, so got that going on.
No worries.
Okay.
I
I
don't
just
blame
don't get a restroom break this week.
No, you don't. So you check that window. You sit right
I
back
checked the
down
cat.
in
I
that
always
seat.
check the cat too.
Not out there.
Not there. Not out there. I think she's in the house.
So let's see, good sir. Do you have a countdown for us?
I do.
Hit it.
Tube 3 ready to fire, sir.
Commence the countdown.
Give it to me. All right. So, not a conventional power rankings this week, but I do have something for us. We are looking at, you mentioned it, kind of close to top of the show there, Kyle, that we had a Christian Bale lookalike, a doppelganger, if you will, in the form of Don Scribner. So I have a sort of trivia game here, mashup, Christian Bale versus Don Scribner. We're going to be looking at 7 facts. You guys have to tell me which of these facts represent Christian Bale and which of them represent Don Scribner. I'll let you guys work together. I'll let you guys all work together.
All right.
We don't have Patrick to complete that twin brain, hive mind, super
Speaking
genius
of
thing
doppelgangers.
over there. But Kyle and Zach will have to fill in the blanks for you there, Jamie.
We'll get it.
Number 1, Christian Bale versus Don Scribner. This one starred in a Pac-Man cereal commercial.
Oh, I mean, I think it's
It's
Christian
got to
Bale.
be Christian Bale, right?
Yeah, he's like a kid actor.
Is he? I didn't know that.
Well, you don't remember him? He was in like Empire of the Sun, and then he ended up in Newsies. I mean, he wasn't a kid by the time I got around to Newsies, but
I
I think
have
that
no
makes
idea.
Jamie knows way too much. It's going to be way too easy.
so I think it's probably Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
That is correct. I did exclude the child actor component of that piece of trivia to help disguise it a little bit. But that is Christian Bale, Pac-Man cereal commercial at a young age. Number 2, his mother was a circus performer.
That's got to be Scribner, right?
I'm gonna guess Scribner.
I mean, come on.
This is Christian Bale.
Yeah, well,
And his father was a pilot, if I remember reading that correctly. Number 3, this guy flunked out of college 3 times.
Scribner.
Scribner.
Now, all right, guys. This sounds. They've all been Bale so far, but it sounds like
Bale has
right?
not. No, Bale has not gone to college. He's a kid actor.
Okay.
Why would he go to college?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could call Scribner. It's got to be him.
Yes. Like I said, Jamie, knowing the whole life history of Christian Bale kind of screws me over here a little bit. But that is Don
He's an
Scribner.
actor his entire life. Why would he go to college?
Jamie,
there-
are all those whatever that is on that shelf next to you just Christian Bale?
Biographies. Well, no, they're mostly biographies I wrote of him that I wrote myself. Different
okay.
drafts. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Number 4, this one's wide open for you guys. His first acting gig was in a fabric softener commercial.
Huh.
Man, you think the Scrib would do something like that?
It's hard. It really is hard to imagine.
I mean, it's also hard to even guess because we only saw him. I only know him from this, and I've looked at photos of him later in life, and now he's got really long hair.
Yeah.
Looks like a badass.
He does. That he does.
Straight out of Sons of Anarchy.
I could see him. Yeah, he could do that. He could be in that show. Oh, man. Zach, what are you thinking? Looks like you got a soft sweatshirt on. Would you? All right. If you saw a commercial and you were like, hey, you got Scribner or Bale,
Bale.
that's what you'd go with?
Dude, don't.
One's like the Snuggle Bear, one's like Mr. Clean. I don't know if Mr. Clean even has softener, but
Christian Bale.
Let's ride him.
Guys are,
Let's do
guys are
it.
best
deep
we
in the
got.
tank on this. You guys got it.
Yeah.
You're 4. 3 for 4. You missed the circus performer. But Christian Bale, 1982 fabric softener commercial. Number 5 here. He had an audition for a role that required him to be on a pool table.
What?
Oh.
That's it. Do you know what my guess is for this? It's got to be the Scrib, because he probably has so little trivia that you have to do something like that.
Yeah, that's true. Like, hey, why don't you lay on that pool table?
No, I'm just saying, like probably you were looking through the 4 facts you had, and one of them was like, he had a gig where he had to lay on a pool table, and you're like, gotta use it.
I mean, right? Yeah, like.
However, I don't have anything else to use, so pool table one, Scribner.
Jamie's game theory is infallible, as Scribner had 2 pieces of trivia, and this was one of them.
Perfect.
Great.
This guy was one of the youngest school principals ever before becoming an actor.
Okay, that's
All right,
Scribner.
there we go.
Come on,
All right.
that cannot
Christian
possibly
Bale.
be Christian
It
Bale.
could be
No
Christian
way.
Bale. He was a child actor. He could have been a very young child.
Well, yeah.
Youngest school
Imagine,
principal.
Come on. Like, yeah, here's our principal. He's also in 7th grade. Like, what?
You may have seen him in Empire of the Sun. He's a pretty good actor.
Well, in case you guys didn't know, Kyle, you originally hail from Wisconsin. Maybe he was your school principal, because it is Scribner. He was the youngest school principal in Wisconsin at the time before
You know
he
what town?
turned actor. I do not. Number 6, got 2 left here. He has written a revenge thriller trilogy following a female protagonist.
So he said he's only got 2 pieces of information on Scribner, right?
I had to do
So it's gotta
some.
be-
No, but
I had to
so
do
that's
some
the thing.
extra.
I was going to say,
diving for
and
the
I,
script.
because there's a couple things about. I think the Scribner also has released a CD, like a musical thing. I think, from what I saw online, but I swear his recently. No, never mind. I'm thinking of the guy who played the other guy, Marco. So maybe this could be Christian Bale, because Marco, I think, also is now just writing books or something, sci-fi books or something.
Fabio guy?
Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think this is Christian Bale or a Scrib?
I think it's
feel like
Bale.
I think it's Bale.
I think
I
he's
agree.
out of facts on the Scrib,
Yeah. I think
and
it's
he
Bale.
knows it.
Let's go Bale.
Wow, interesting guess, guys. It is Don Scribner.
Oh, man.
Following the female protagonist Holly, when the judicial system lets her down, she takes the law into her own hands across a 3 books arc.
Should I? So every year the library, our local public library here, has a reading book challenge. You have to read a reading challenge. You have to read 12 books in the year, and under certain genres. One of the genres this year is a book written by a celebrity. Should I read that one?
Yes,
Okay.
I think so. I like that.
Really stretching that definition of celebrity.
Yeah. Hey, he's a writer, actor, and songwriter and performer.
He has his own website. I'm trying to find out what town that was in.
Maybe that was Maybe I did see that he was an author on a website.
Dude, if he was my
it got
principal-
all mixed up in my head.
He's a
because I was
musician
also-
too. He's a
Yeah, I was
musician,
also looking at Marco. So
But finally, number 7, he was chosen as one of the 100 sexiest stars in the film industry by Empire magazine.
trick question, both.
Not a trick question.
Bale.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got to be Bale.
Christian
me see.
Bale.
Yeah, come on.
Obvious question, obvious answer. That is Christian Bale versus Don Scribner.
Woo. Who won?
think we
Christian
did
Bale, because
slightly.
he had more facts.
Oh. So in Don Scribner's bio,
Wait a
it
second.
says...
No, never mind. I had 8, so they tied. Thought I had 7.
tied. He's a college flunk-out turned university graduate.
Yeah, I guess he flunked out 3 times, then reapplied himself, different school that time, committed himself, did so well that he became a dynamo in his school district and became a youngest principal.
Well, it says he's from northern Wisconsin on the shores of Lake Superior, and I quote, almost close enough to see Canada. What?
Were you almost close enough to see Canada, Kyle?
No, I was
Okay.
not.
Have you ever seen Canada?
I have. I went to Canada the other year. I went backpacking at Isle Royal, and then I went up to Canada.
Okay.
It was weird. I don't know. Have you guys ever crossed the border in a car? You ever done that?
Yeah,
Yep, by accident.
a long time ago when I was in college.
It was weird. Like, I crossed because they were like, hey, what's your business in Canada? And all I was doing, I was going to a brewery, and I was like, I'm going drinking. And they're like, have a good time. And then I came back, and you're supposed to, like, claim, whatever you bring back. And so they're like, what do you have? And I just held up, like, I was driving, and I just held up this 6-pack. I'm like, this is what I brought back. And they're like, okay, you're good to go. It's like, all right, thanks. I didn't know how that border crossing worked, but
Yeah, I went up
It went okay.
to visit Keenan one time. I was going to a concert the night before up in Detroit, or north of Detroit, at Clarkston at DTE, and there was construction in Detroit, and I ended up coming to this
Bridge to Canada.
Yep, I could go left, straight, or right. I'm like, well, I'll go straight, and if I'm wrong, I'm only halfway out of the way of where I needed to go. But I went straight across the Ambassador Bridge, and they do not let you turn around anywhere. I just had to go across and then get sent back.
Oh, my
So
word.
you've been to Canada, Ben.
So I saw Canada. I
fine.
felt God in Canada that night.
Well, let's feel some news in here tonight, because I got some history news
Oh,
for
wow.
You got news?
you. History news. Hit the new music, Kyle.
All right.
Dead air.
Oh, my word. What the heck?
Dead air.
Is it not working?
All this stuff, I don't know. I don't have...
We'll just
what
sing
the heck
it.
is with Alex?
Zach
Sing it.
facts, it's Zach
Zach
facts. When you're going down, get
down.
yourself some
Here,
Zach
I got
facts.
something for you.
When you're going down.
I got something real good for you.
Episode 118, folks. Right?
119.
119.
We are
119.
losing it.
I thought we said it was
It is.
119.
Oh, it is 119.
Dude,
Dang
I
it,
think
Zach.
I tweeted that out wrong then. So I'm sorry. Amateur hour over here. I do have a quick news story, though. I have some history news before the facts.
Do it.
Okay,
Go
go.
into it.
You have 4 icebreakers loaded in the tube. Blow a hole, launch a radio buoy.
Got it.
MIT PhD pussy.
MIT PhD pussy.
That was great. All right.
What a throwback.
You heard it. History news. History news, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, what's something that just... What's one of the shittiest things in the world? Universally disliked.
The
Porta potty.
Holocaust? That's
Oh,
pretty
good one.
bad.
That's an event.
Oh,
That's a
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
Shittiest things in the world.
And I call them a thing because they're not real people.
Wow.
Twilight.
Okay.
The Cleveland Browns.
No, Nazis.
Oh, okay.
So
Kyle was close. That
I was pretty close.
was pretty close.
So, I don't know if you guys knew this, but some history in the news. This comes to you live. Tampa Bay Times. Nazi submarines brought the fight to Florida during World War II. I don't know if you guys knew that. Anybody out there, if you've ever heard of World War II, it was a pretty big thing in the 1900s. But the Nazis were in the Gulf of Mexico patrolling for almost a year. They sunk nearly 70 vessels and killed over 700 people.
And I think there
just
was a
it.
show. It was called like American Badasses. Did you guys ever watch that?
No.
It was on the History Channel. And I want to say Ernest Hemingway went out because they had so many people they wanted non-military boats out patrolling looking for U-boats. So he was one of the first people. He's like, "Get me out there. Like I'm going to go out there and I'm going to look for these U-boats." And he even brought a bunch of explosives with him.
You say, I'm sure you're saying a true fact, but you sound like you're making this up as you go along.
It sounds crazy, right? It sounds
does.
crazy. It does sound like I'm making it up, but
You're like Ernest Hemingway. He's got, he gets on a boat. He gets on a boat, right? And he's got like, what has he got? He got explosives everywhere. Like, okay.
yeah.
Okay,
Let
Kyle.
me double check this. What you guys do. I don't want to be like, yeah.
I'll just
totally
finish
lied
off the
about
news
that.
story. So it's history. You can look it up. It was called Operation Drumbeat, and Germany had 15 U-boats over there in the Gulf, but we sunk 4 of them. So
Wow.
there you go. Tampa Bay Times. That's it.
Tampa Bay Times.
Stay fucked,
It is.
Nazis.
It is Ernest Hemingway who did it. There's even a
good.
book called The Hemingway Patrols.
Nice. I like that book. Should I
All
read
right.
that for written by a celebrity?
It's
I think
not
you have a
by
lot of
celebrity.
options. I mean, just by being an author, I mean, that,
I'm
I
gonna
feel like
say
that
he's an
makes you a
author. I
celebrity.
think he's pretty well known. Should we get into some Zach?
Let's hit it
Delectable,
again.
some delicious Zach facts.
Zach facts. Fact
Dude,
me.
I hope this works.
Get
We're
it.
gonna nibble the.
Get it.
There we go.
Zach Facts, it's Zach Facts. When you're going down, get some Zach Facts when you're going down.
Brand new week of Zach Facts. Slightly funnier character names. Fact edition. Get ready for it.
HD Remix.
Ba-ba-bum. Character with a slightly funnier name. Fact edition. Number 1 is James Decker Dicker.
Oh,
I like that.
I
Slightly.
like it too.
Slightly.
And you guys know why?
I think I know why. Jamie.
Now make sure
I think
everybody's
everybody
got
knows
the
why.
make sure you got the names of the people, right? Maybe we should have reviewed that. Maybe we should have reviewed that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
maybe
want me
let me get
to,
it
you want me to
up.
go down the
James
list here?
Decker
or-
Yes, yes. Go down the list.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. James Decker, David Phillips, Angela Strickman, Captain O'Reilly, Lars Reinark, Marco, Commanding Officer John Carter,
From Mars.
That's enough.
Talia.
That's enough.
Dr. Strickman,
I didn't do all of them.
Admiral Harriman,
But man, I guess I could do the rest just for funsies. All right.
Captain Xavier, Pennington,
Pennington.
Julie, David, Secretary as Kim Reed.
There's more,
We're
but
cut
it's
out
fine.
for you,
Okay.
man.
Okay. We'll go through some of these. You guys guess. Okay, so I have a certain amount that I pre-made for this, but I'm going to go through that whole page, and you guys tell me when you think is the cutoff between what a Zach is, what a Zach thought was, and then just on the top. You know what I mean? Planned
the
and
top
not
of your
planned.
head?
Off the top of my head. Holy crap! Can't talk. Can't think.
Okay.
Character number 1 was James Decker, and the slightly funnier version was James Decker Dicker.
Do you want me to are you going down the line?
Yeah.
All right. David Phillips.
David Philippicus.
That's a funny name.
It is, isn't it? It's slightly.
Funny name.
I thought
Funny
it's
name.
funny. Philippicus.
Yeah, it's funny.
Angela Strickman.
Angela Strokeman.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Man.
That's a
Slightly
porno
funny.
name. Captain O'Reilly.
Captain O'Reilly's.
Oh, see, I would have went Captain O'Reilly.
Oh, really, fool?
I would have been in
Captain
Captain O'Reilly and he's just blazing 24/7.
Nice. Tight.
Lars Reinark.
Lars Rhinarchosaurus.
Yeah, I was actually going to do the exact same thing. I would have went see, now you have to do Rhinoceros, right? Because you can be like Rhinarcissus, right? Wouldn't that be, you want to do rhinoceros, but it's hard to get that.
Yeah.
Marco.
Marco Polo.
Yeah, I would have said the same thing. I would have done that one.
Commanding Officer John Carter.
Commanding Officer John Farter.
That's funny.
Oh, that one's good.
Yeah.
And I think I know where this one's going. Talia.
Talia Balia.
Oh,
I was
give me a
thinking-
high five right here, buddy.
I was thinking
He's not
Talia Wacker.
There it is.
That would have been, yeah.
Dr. Oh, we already had a. Well, I'll say it in case you got one for it. Dr. Strickman.
Dr. Strokeman.
Oh, that's a porno name.
Admiral Harriman.
Admiral Harry Mann.
I
think
that.
we're past the cutoff. Captain Xavier.
Captain Xavierson.
No, we're definitely
God.
past it.
Oh God. Pennington.
Paddington Bear.
I would say Pennington Bear. You gotta do Pennington Bear.
Julie.
Oh, wow.
Julia
Julie?
Gulia.
Julie.
No, nice.
David.
David. in Goliath.
Oh, come on, Duchovny, man.
Oh, David Duchovny. Okay, yeah, David Duchovny.
I feel like you got a good canvas
D.
with this next one. Secretary as Kim Reed.
Secretariat as Kim Horse, right?
Nice. That's good. It's like a
movie.
pun.
All right, I'm gonna cut you off.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's good. So at what point did it go from pre-planning to off the top of my head?
I thought Talia Wacker would have been like low-hanging fruit, but you didn't take advantage. So I'll say right after John Carter.
Yeah, I'll say John Carter's the last one. John Carter.
No way, man. He had that Dr. Stroke man in the bag because he already did the other one. So I'm going to include that, and then anything after that is kaput.
So the last one I prepared was Marco Polo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
And
so
Farter, Farter does seem like
John
you.
Farter was off the top of my head. So.
It does seem like
That's
one
a
you
good
could come
one.
off your head. Yeah, that's true.
That's pretty good ad-libbing.
Thank you.
Okay. What do we got queued up next week if people want to watch along there, Jamie?
Oh, that's going to be, let me just double check it. Stealth Fighter. I'm going to hear
This
my
one's
computer, but
not on Tubi, I don't think.
it is not. It is on Vudu with ads.
Voodoo.
Yeah. Let me
Vudu
just make
with
sure. Yeah,
ads.
Stealth Fighter starring Ice-T. It's watch now on Vudu, free with ads. And yes, you would look at it and you'd be like, this looks like it has fighter jets on it. There's not even any submarines on it. And I would say, that's what you think.
I like that.
Tune in, listeners. Get in or get out.
Thank you for listening to Submersion. Don't forget to subscribe for new episodes every Thursday. If you like what you heard, please leave us a rating wherever you listen. Want to interact with us? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We also love to get messages from all of you. If you have a suggestion, a comment, or just anything you'd like to share, please email us at macestudios@gmail.com.